Hello everyone, and welcome back to our super tutorial series. My name is David Akrish, and I'm the co-founder of Heaven Earth Chinese Medicine Healing Center, and our website is ChineseHerbsForYou.com. I've created a new tutorial on skin problems, and we're going to look at them through the eyes of Chinese medicine. And this is actually going to be broken down into 3 parts. So let's get ready for the first part here, and I look forward to going over this information. We do ask kindly for you to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done that, so we can continuously bring you information that's in depth, that's based on many decades of knowledge and actually hands-on working with people, and that it's information that we hold dearly and we want to offer, and we very much care about people and want to offer them knowledge and background that you may find in a couple places on YouTube, but really in general, you're not going to find this information anywhere else. Before we get started with the in-depth tutorial on skin issues, health issues, I do want to offer our complimentary Chinese herbal medicine consultation. This is something we've been doing for a very long time, for 20 years. We're experts in working with long distance people, long distance consultations, and setting up programs based on our formulas. There's no obligation. We want you to contact us. This is really for the person who's looked many different places or seen a lot of different people, very frustrated, they've spent a lot of money, and maybe they've never worked with Chinese herbal formulas, and that's a lot of people, and some people have and seen people and still didn't get results. So we're not charging anything, we're offering it. We want to get to know you, and this is really it's for anyone, but really is for someone who's having pretty complicated, complex problems, and that's really where our knowledge, it can go with anything. We could help on easier problems, but there never seems to be that much of an easier health problem. It seems to be convoluted, complex, intertwined, and we're the people that can take apart those knots and line them out, and then look at the correct formulas and create a program for you. And so you can contact us directly, and we'll send you the opt-in. It's very easy. And you'll send us some pictures and answer some questions and write us a quick narrative. But it doesn't have to be quick. This is your health, and without your health, going through life and being frustrated or tired or always sick, this is someplace where maybe you need to slow down, take your time, and put some time into it, and be willing to work with us, and understand that it could take even a year to go over different patterns, internal patterns that we're working on, and to bring them kind of up to date or to balance them, and then see your life change. So Chinese herbal medicine is phenomenal. It can take a little bit of time. So I mean, come on, let's be honest. But along the way, you'll be feeling better, and the results have been absolutely amazing for decades, for thousands of years. But even just for our business, we've just really have been able to turn around many health issues. And I mean, we're going to go over a real complex one today with the skin, and realize that it's not just about your skin, but it's about what's going on inside, and about all kinds of other, what we call daily pattern problems that go along with it. So we'll get into that. So anyways, get a hold of us, and we'd love to talk with you. It's myself, my beautiful wife, who's a co-founder, and our sweet little dog, who's part of the program. Hope you enjoy the picture. I have this on all our videos, and what it's about is asking you to take the time to look at these videos, to maybe some of the other ones are pretty long. They're like an hour, close to an hour, to maybe break it down, watch a third of it, come back, watch the second third, another day, watch the last third, and then go over it and absorb this incredible information. And we've been doing this for a long time, so we've kind of learned how to make it palatable and easy to understand, though it can be complex. And even when we feel like it's kind of simple, it's still seems to be confusing for some people, but it's worth it. I mean, maybe it's not the most fun thing for you to do in life, but a lot of people find it really fascinating in the difference of the Chinese medicine view versus all the other types of medical views on how your body works. So we have a lot of different videos, and we're going to be putting up some more and continuously bringing information, because we are major information based business. We're not just selling something and take it, goodbye. This is about you learning about yourself, about the education and the depth of what Chinese medicine is and what it can do for you. So the more you know, the better, and that's really important. So the name of this tutorial, that's broken down into 3 parts, which should make it a little bit easier, though you can break any video into as many parts as you want, like I was saying earlier, but we're going to do this in 3 different parts, is as below, so above. And we're going to look at commonly named skin syndromes, diseases, whatever you want to call it, just a name to something that's happening. But really, as we do with everything else, we need to change it into take the name away and then into what's actually happening, what we call a Chinese medicine pattern, which is built upon daily disharmonies. So there's more to it, but let's just look at the title, as below, so above. What that really means is that if it's a skin problem, is it just a skin problem? We don't see it that way at all. It's telling us that something's happening below, inside your body, and your body's saying, look at how, what's going on inside. It's like giving you a key, or giving you an outer idea, a picture into the inside of the workings of your body. So it's really important to convert your thinking into, this isn't just, oh, I got a skin problem, everything else is fine. That makes no sense. So let's just be honest about that. This is telling you this is something internal, as below, and it's showing externally, so above. So that's why I've named it as below, so above. And I also wanted to say that we want people, the reason we're doing this is because we've been asked to do a video on skin problems, which is, I mean, just the skin alone, to have this is it's emotional, it's draining, it means something's wrong inside, and it's affected a lot of people on many different levels, and embarrassment, and so it's very costly. I heard that the skin doctor is one of the most, dermatologist, skin doctor is one of the most, is probably the highest paid doctor. That, I heard that in the past. I don't know if it's still true, but why? Because your looks are important. So just on that alone, this can be very kind of hurtful to a person that's having skin health issues. But for us, we see it as, we know that more is going on inside that's going to cause problems down the line, or even at the moment that it's happening, in the same timeline that you're having internal problems. So, but what I wanted to say here is that we want you to comment, which we haven't got. We've only got a few views on all our videos, which is fine, and someday they'll go up. But we want you to comment on this and any other video, but also to ask us about other health issues that you may be having, and we will do it. We'll take the time and create a video or two on any type of health issue that you may be having, if we feel that it's something that's affecting a lot of people, or contact us directly. So I just wanted to add that in there. So we say this in every video, and I won't say that all the time, but I'm going to say this right here, is that we have to, because it's really important, convert and change what's seen in the biomedical field, named diseases and syndromes and into the Chinese view. And so it's the only way so we can understand what's going on, and then look at the proper formulas and create a program. And that's what this is all about. And so converting one idea and taking it and then into the Chinese what I have here, herbal medicine algorithm, is extremely important. So let's get into that. So my little chart here seems kind of simple, I guess, in some ways, but it really is the crux. It's the trinity of how we finally get to the right formula. And then from the right formulas, of course, we're changing the Chinese medicine patterns and balancing our body and removing heat or adding fluid or whatever it is that you were trying to do. But what it really starts with is daily disharmonies. And we have to start there. So one daily disharmony would be a skin rash or a skin problem or skin, type of disease. So that's, what this is about, but we're going to look at many others connected with it. And this, I believe this first section or part one is going to be really, I was going to name it case study. And so we'll look at a case study and we'll see other associated daily disharmonies. And once you see what we mean by daily disharmony, it'll make sense to you. When I put this up earlier, I was highlighting some of the more common daily disharmonies, and then I realized I started bolding all of them. So I was like, well, I'll just bold everything because all of this happens all the time, and this is what you see. This is part of life in the sense of part of health issue problems in most people's lives some way or another, from neck and shoulder tension to maybe somebody with chronic sore throat or night sweats, acne, irregular menstrual patterns. How about the cold hands and feet? How many people have that? Pain, jaw tension, clenched teeth. So these are very common daily disharmonies. And what we do is we draw from these, or someone tells us, gives us a list of their own, and then we can start to combine them into the proper Chinese medicine pattern. And then once we understand the pattern, we can look at the proper formulas. So that's kind of how it works. But we're going to look at a case study. So it's coming up. Here we go. Before we get into that case study, I was just talking about the patterns. And like I said, we're always going to talk about this on all the videos because we have to be repetitive to start changing the view of how our bodies work. And really what I've been wanting to do for a very long time, way longer than 20 years that we've been in business, is that to change the language of medicine. And so instead of using some allopathic or biomedical terminology or a name for something that really doesn't say anything, just like it's saying something but saying nothing really, is that we want to say something like what is actually going on. So here I have, for instance, liver blood deficiency. Well, whoa, we're talking about blood. That's actually something we can understand. Liver, it's one of our organs, and then the word deficiency, that it's low. It's not being built, or it's not being put in the right place or being circulated. And so if we start to understand and change the language of medicine as a person has liver blood deficiency based on daily disharmonies, let's say weak eyesight, okay? So I just gave you a connection to liver blood deficiency. Or a woman with very scant menstrual blood, or maybe she's very irregular. This could be based from the liver blood deficiency. And from liver blood deficiency, we can go into the right formulas. So to start balancing our body to build liver blood deficiency, liver blood, we'll say, and remove the deficiency word out of here. So a liver blood deficiency formula would be the answer to the liver blood deficiency pattern. So we want things to make sense and to be clear. So we don't want Chinese medicine to be complicated or complex, or it's like, I don't get it, I'm confused. It's not actually, once you start understanding this, and this is why we're going to keep putting this information on these any of these tutorials, because they are answering the question, and everybody wants the question answered about what's wrong with them. Why are they not feeling right? And here I have that liver blood deficiency right here. Itchy skin is a connection to liver blood deficiency, or we'll say blood deficiency. So we'll get into this a little bit later, but please take the time to read all of our information here, and it'll start to make much more sense. Oh, at the bottom here, I'm saying that can you have more than one, a person have more than one Chinese medicine pattern occurring simultaneously? We see it all the time, numerous patterns, and this is where it gets very complicated. And this is, again, where we want you to come see us or see someone who has the depth and knowledge and background of Chinese herbal medicine. Okay, Chinese herbal medicine, which is different than everything else, and it's not connected to everything. It's its own world, and so you want to see someone who understands the formulas and understands the patterns and are able to put it together. And here I have two different Chinese, very bottom, liver blood deficiency and spleen qi deficiency. Those go together all the time, but it shows that there are two different patterns over just one, and many times we can see numerous. Okay, here we have the a slide up that's showing the different types of deficiencies, and so there are four main ones. Then under each one are sub daily disharmonies that are associated with it. So this is kind of just a breakdown to give you a little bit more understanding of how we see things and how we put our ideas together and come up with solutions. Here we're looking at, which is a great slide here, all of it kind of put together. So the very top we have the daily disharmonies, and I put three of them together: low energy, dry brittle hair, and flaky itchy skin. They all go together. Somebody could have all three, or there's more than that. You could say, each one, but let's just say those three. And we can put it under a specific Chinese medicine pattern, blood deficiency, Chinese medicine pattern, as you can see here. And then we start using formulas to work on balancing and putting through the organ systems and really through the 5 element system of putting things back in order. So we start reversing and balancing the body, but for your body to start changing internally and in putting out on the outside, as like I said, below and above. So above, which would be, let's say, the dry brittle hair, starts becoming a little more less dry and a little more oily and something that looks like healthy hair that you're producing. You're not just putting something on it, but your body is actually telling you something. If it's dry brittle hair, it's telling you something's wrong inside, or wrong, okay, I'll change the word, imbalanced. And so we want to create a situation where your body's producing healthy hair. That means if it's healthy outside, it's probably healthy inside. It is actually. And what I have are a few different formulas that we would use. Let's say that somebody has a lot of heat problems. So first you want to remove the heat, and we're going to use like a cream that's very cooling, and it's an actual herbal tea cream that we create. And then a couple different formulas that are very strong to move heat or fire out of your body. And then once that's moved or cleared, we can also start using a formula to tonify and strengthen, to build the blood, to build the yin, which is something like our 12 treasure for beautiful skin and hair and nails. And even in that formula, there are some cooling herbs and different. It's a very complex formula to work on multiple levels, but it may not be enough in the beginning where someone has too much of a certain element that we need to take to modify. And once we modify that element as heat or fire element and cool it down, not to take it away, but to bring it down to a certain balancement within the other elements, then we can start building with a formula that's that's a more nourishing formula, such as a 12 treasure. This slide is just kind of self-explanatory, everything that I've gone over. Okay, we are finally at the case study that I was talking about earlier, and the importance of this are a couple of things. One, it's someone who was taking formulas at one point and it was doing very well, then she stopped taking them and things weren't going so well, and not just with her skin, but you can see here, weak digestion, burning urine, all these other daily disharmonies, which I have listed here. This is her list. And so she came to us and we restarted her up. low immune, where she was getting sick all the time, low energy. So it isn't just one thing. And she even named a few pretty potent skin health issues, eczema and rosacea, that that's what she told me. So, but we just look at it, we list it, but it's not what we're really working on, because it kind of has, in some ways, not very much meaning. It's meaningful in that it's something that you can look at and say, I have this, but it's not really giving us any type of answer. And again, that's where we go back to the daily disharmony leading to the Chinese medicine patterns. Chinese medicine patterns giving us the answer, which will give us the right formula combinations, or the different patterns, not just one pattern, but different patterns. And so anyways, she stopped taking them. And like I said down here, this is unfortunately a common occurrence. People stop taking things and then things come back. So she needed to get back on track, which she did. These are the two formulas that she started on, which is an external cream, even though it's not really external because it's a true complex formula that's being used as a cream, but for your skin to absorb into your bloodstream. So it was working through the heat, moving the heat, and it works very well in clearing up extra, even cuts, scrapes, burns, but acne, but any type of heat, skin. Well, usually it is a skin related with heat. Usually, not always, but problem. And so the Cool and Refresh is a very powerful formula and 100% natural and safe, and it's something that we've created. And then using the 12 treasures. So just those two formulas put together to work on again, the outside, even though to me it's more, it's still inside because it's working into the blood system. But and then the 12 treasure, which is a very powerful tonic, and she did very well. So she got back on track here. And then later on, I wanted to add more for yin and cooling and building. And so with building, we're talking about blood and yin, and put her on a yin tonic. And so this worked out very well for her, and we get things back on track. So it's kind of sounds easy, but it's actually not. You have to take these very powerful formulas and know how to combine them and understand where you're starting from so you know what to take. So our title here is, So Why Did Her Health Issues Return? And that's something I mentioned earlier, but it's the weird thing about this is that in your mind you think, it's my skin. I have a skin problem, but this is a foundational problem. What's happening internally, fluid transformation here and transportation, your digestion. This is a lot of things are awry, are not working well, are mixed up, and the wires are crossed, and so you have to put things back in order. And then health. I mean, when you see someone who looks, they look healthy, or what are you looking at? You're probably looking at their hair or their skin or their eyes, of course, emotions or attitude. But if you just saw someone and go, wow, they look great, or young, everybody wants to stay young or look younger. This is when things start going off kilter, imbalanced through the Chinese medicine patterns. We want to rebalance them. I remember a lady that came in, and we put her on a yin tonic and I think a digestion tonic. This is a long time ago, but when we were actually seeing people physically, and she came back in just, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. She literally looked 20 years younger, and I see this all the time. So if you have I call it the key and lock. If you have the right key, you unlock that lock that's causing problems, and you'll look. If you look better, you look younger, you're probably your health is up, levels up, and so does your looks. So who doesn't want that? And so that's what this is really about, is our skin is part of our looks, and if something's going on that's that's showing in a very what am I trying to say, a way that you can just visually see that, wow, this is something that's very striking. You can think that something inside, well, you should think, you probably don't think, but you need to think that something inside of your body or that person's body is not correct. A lot is going on, and it needs to be corrected. This is me trying to be kind of clever, but calling this off the grid. And the reason I'm calling it that is that when you look at something such as a skin problem, it's like looking at, it's not how we do it, but it's looking at medical problems in a grid type sense, where that's just where the problem is occurring. And we'll have pictures in the next part too, but you go, well, that's where it's at, that's where the problem is, this is what we need to address. And that is not the way that we see things. And honestly, I'll kind of be bold to say the way you should see things is you need to see that that's telling us something. It's an indicator. It's a light flashing that something's wrong. And so that's why I call this off the grid. We need to think off the grid. Maybe live off the grid at some point too, but think off the grid and not just treat or work on or just think of that one specific area, but think globally of your whole body and of what's going on, from emotions to sleeping patterns to your digestion and your skin. And then, and like I was saying, your hair, your eyes, your nails will give you a great indicator of your health. This just sums up everything I was just saying. So self-explanatory, I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Well, in comparison to the other videos that are quite long, this is over. And it's just about over. So we just want you to please contact us with any questions, leave a comment or a health issue you'd like us to cover. And if you want a complimentary consultation, contact us. All the information is available. And I will be bringing part 2 to YouTube here in just a few days, I think. I'm going to do another one. And so I look forward to you going over this and then looking for the next one. And then we'll finally finish with formulas and more Chinese medicine patterns that are associated with these problems. And again, my name is David Akrish. I'm the co-founder of Heaven Earth Chinese Medicine Healing Center. Our website is ChineseHerbsForYou.com. And you will find incredible amount of information on our site. We are information heavy, based, in-depth knowledge. We have specialized products that we've created, like our skin cream, tea creams, and we have a line of formulas for dogs that are phenomenal, and they're out to save you money because it's very expensive going to see people and paying for a lot of stuff that you probably don't even want to give your dogs. And so this may be much more of a way that you may want to lean towards. Of course, you can ask us any questions on any of the formulas, and we will continue with our part 2 here, like I said, in about maybe less than a week. I will bring up another one, and I just look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Have a great day.